I decided to make a video about the most pressing issue facing mankind. Now, according to the media and governments, etc., you might think that is climate change. It's not. The major issue facing mankind is how do we power our planet without fossil fuels? 86% of our planet is powered by fossil fuels. That's including electricity, transportation, etc. So how in the world are we going to get off these fossil fuels? That's will be the determination if mankind can survive in the future. This is not just, talking about it. This is literally mankind's only way of survival. Otherwise, we're going to continue burning these fossil fuels. We're going to have a dead planet, and we're going to have climate change at the same time. So imagine a world without any resources, a dead world with 7-8 billion people living on it. That's what we're facing if we continue down this path. Children born today, if we don't change, should not be born because there will not be a planet for them to live on. This is that severe. All the money in the world is not going to help if there's no resources to buy. Young people need to understand this. This is not some minor thing. And I cannot believe that the governments, the oil companies, the scientists are not talking about this exactly like this, because this is what we're talking about. We use 85 million barrels of oil every day. That's what we consume. Now, let's put that in perspective so normal people can understand it, because of barrels is 42 gallon. That's 3.5 billion gallon of oil every single day. Every day, that's what we're using. And it's growing. Now, some people may think you can just drill a hole anywhere, and my gosh, you'll just find oil. It's not like that. We're now drilling way out in the oceans. We're mining in Canada. I can't imagine we're taking loaders, and because of the sand, we cannot separate oil from the sand very easy. So we're actually mining it. We've known about the Canadian oil sands for, my gosh, 30, 40, 50 years. And we knew there was large reserves there. But nobody in their right mind ever thought we'd go after it. That's why it's taken this long. But that's how scarce oil is starting to become. And you know what? The world is just going along in some type of bubble. I do not get it. If young people actually knew what was going on, they would be everywhere in the world in an uprising demand, because our generation is literally destroying our planet with continuing with fossil fuels no matter what. I talked about oil here, but let's look at electricity. We use 20 terawatts power today. That's worldwide. The demand is supposed to be a half a terawatt a year, which is 500 gigawatts a year. That's the demand growth expected for the next 20 years. How we plan to supply that? Guess what? 86% of that will come from fossil fuels, 14% from alternative energy. Now, if we don't completely convert our planet over to alternative energy, in the next 30, 40, 50 years, there'll be no more fossil fuels to even assist us in doing that. We're literally setting our world up for total destruction. And oil companies are making commercials, are talking about energy security for the next couple generations as they continue to burn more of our carbon resources until, I guess, the world doesn't have any, and then they'll be satisfied. This has got to stop. They're even bragging about how much money they spend. They're trying to protect their industry within the media. And they own the media. And nobody's speaking up. Young people, you need to understand this is your future. Do not let our generation ruin the entire world for it. There may be some wackos out there that think the world's supposed to come to an end, and so this is all okay. But you know what? What happens if they're wrong? Young people need to understand this is your future. I'm speaking up here, but this is your future, and this is the truth. This is the truth. Let's look at crude oil. And I said we use 85 million barrels a day. In this country, 30% of the crude oil we use doesn't even go for energy. 30%. So if we use 10 million gallon a day, which we actually use about 13 million gallon, 30% of that is used for products. That's surprising to people, I bet you. Well, all you got to do if you want to look at the products, look at the plastic in your house. Look at the plastic in your refrigerator. Heck, look at the plastic on the computer you're watching this from. Look in your car. Those are oil products. Plastic is oil-based. Go out. Take a look at your driveway. Look at the road. Look at the shingles on your house. A lot of our modernized products today in a modern world are oil-based products. They all go away too when we get done using all the crude oil. And we're burning it up like a child with its first six-pack of pop. You know, this world could last forever if we embraced alternative energy. And you know what? Today, about 33% of the electricity is produced from alternative energy. You know, that's not including transportation. So really about, like I said, 14% of the energy is produced from alternative energy today. Now, we've already put dams wherever, all the places where they could. We're not going to use nuclear power. So the experts have turned to wind and solar. Well, wind and solar are both about 20% effective. That's it. So all this hoopla about how much capacity of wind they're putting in, these megawatt windmills, and they say, oh, megawatt capacity. They're only producing 1/5 of that. You know, think about it. Solar panels on your roof. It does not power a whole house. That means that we could put solar panels on every roof in the world, and we could not power the house, the world, just with the electricity. That's how ridiculous all this is. And wind is just as bad. So the idea that we're going to turn to wind and solar to power our planet, or even partially power our planet, doesn't make sense. Another one is seaweed, our biofuels. You know, if we had to grow enough biofuels for transportation fuels, we wouldn't have nothing to eat, period. That's how ridiculous that is. Seaweed, what? Are we going to have an ocean totally full of seaweed? And I still don't think that would create enough transportation fuels. You know, it seems like we're stuck right now. I have created an energy invention that can power this world 25 to 50 times over. I can't get nobody to listen. I can't get you young people to understand how important this is. This is critical. This is mankind's future. This is your children's future if you're in your 20s and you have a child. And it will affect your future. We can't, why would we want to use up all our fossil fuels for energy? And the oil companies here are making commercials like crazy. You know, bribing people. Where we spend more money in the United States. Well, you can have all the money in the world, and if you got no resources after they get done consuming them all, you got nothing. They're setting our world up for destruction, and there's no other way to say it. It's a fact, and I can't even get an audience to look at what I've created. I am just totally baffled by this whole thing. I do not get any of this. This is greed, willing to destroy our planet. There's 7 billion people. The United States seems to think they're the center of the universe. There are a little over 4% of the people living on this planet. China and India make up over 40%. We're not the center of the universe. We use about 5.2% of the electricity created in this world. We use a little over a terawatt of power. The world generates 20 terawatts of power. We're not the center of the universe, but we seem to be with crude. Because with crude, we use about 22% of it. But don't forget, 30% of it is used for products. Only 70% of it is used for energy, for transportation energy. You know, I've tried blogging. I've created 3 other videos, and I label Empowering the Planet. So what do? They come out with some nice verbiage, climate change. You know, if climate change was the only thing we had to deal with, we probably could deal with it. It's a little bit increase in weather, etc. But the real problem is we're burning up all our natural resources, all our fossil fuels. You know, it's going to be the destruction of mankind. And I'm making these videos to explain to the young people and try to get the other people to wake up. You know, I've been looking to the wrong people for assistance. I've been looking to GE and Siemens, but they have so many ties with the energy market that they're unwilling to step forward. You know, they got ties with the oil company, they got ties with the natural gas company from supplying them generators, they got ties with the coal company for supplying them generators. They're making wind turbines for our wind. You know, they're so tied up and so commingled with these companies, they're unwilling to look at anything because that would be, oh boy, and it might hurt their profit margins. I never dreamed I'd be saying that GE and Siemens would put their profits ahead of the actual mankind's ability to survive. But it's going on right now. Either that or they think I'm lacking credibility. Well, even if there's a 0.0001% chance I'm correct, which I'm 99% feel that I can power this planet, they should be beating my doors down. Because of that, I'm going to say, hey, China, India, you have 42% of the people living on this planet. And if America is unwilling to lead, whoever steps forward, I will work with to power this planet. This is, I've got to make some type of a resolution here and get this going forward. I've been, for 6 months, I have been trying to get to GE and Siemens and the President of the United States. And like I say, he should be calling me. I shouldn't be calling him. This is that serious of an issue. You know, wind right now and solar both create about, capacity-wise, 270 gigawatts of power. You know, that's minute compared to 20 terawatts of power. And in 20 years, it's going to be 30 terawatts of power. But in actuality, they're only creating about 54, 55 gigawatts. Now, that is minute. And that's what we're pushing our future forward on. This has got to stop. You know, we need to solve this issue. If we don't, the young people should not have no more children because there's not going to be a planet to live on. That's how severe this is. You know, when we run out of fossil fuels, imagine no energy and no resources. It's a dead world. It's a dead planet. And that's what we'll be facing if we don't change now. And I'm making these videos, and I'm going to continue making these videos until I can get through to young people to step forward to change our direction of this planet. It's not just one country's fault. It's all the country's fault. It's all the leadership of the world. They need to be communicating this to young people. I'm not trying to scare you. These are true facts. And if we continue down this path, you don't have a future. So I'm going to end this video, and you'll be hearing from me, hopefully, quite often. Thank you. Bye.